Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you change, no matter how many milestones you reach, your sibling still treats you like the same old version of yourself? As if, behind the love and the memories, there are invisible strings pulling you back into a role that no longer belongs to you? Sibling relationships are among the most fascinating and complex bonds we ever experience. They shape who we become, our confidence, our sense of identity, even the way we move through the world. But beneath that closeness, there often lies something deeper: rivalry, comparison, and an unspoken hunger for recognition that can stretch far beyond childhood. Carl Jung once suggested that the parts of ourselves we refuse to face, what he called the shadow, don't disappear. Instead, they find their way into our relationships, especially with those closest to us. With siblings, jealousy doesn't always appear as open hostility. It hides in subtle patterns, repeated interactions, and familiar jokes that can quietly shape how we see ourselves. In this video from Beyond the Twist, we'll explore the one unmistakable sign that reveals when your sibling is secretly jealous of you. Sibling rivalry is as old as time itself. From the ancient story of Cain and Abel to modern studies in psychology, brothers and sisters have always lived within a quiet current of comparison. Alfred Adler, one of the earliest thinkers in psychoanalysis, believed that siblings don't just fight for attention, they compete for identity. Each child unconsciously takes on a role that helps them feel unique. One becomes the achiever, another the rebel, another the caretaker. Modern developmental psychology confirms that these early identities can last for decades, shaping not just behavior, but self-worth. Unlike friendships, which can change or fade, sibling roles are often locked in place by shared history. Jung's theory of the shadow helps explain why jealousy between siblings can persist into adulthood. The shadow holds the fears, insecurities, and desires we'd rather deny. When a sibling feels threatened, they may unconsciously project their shadow onto you, assigning you the traits they can't bear to see in themselves. Instead of admitting their own insecurity, they might treat you as though you embody it. And in that moment, rivalry stops being about you at all. It becomes about their internal struggle, a fight within themselves that's easier to project outward than to face inward. Family systems theory, developed by Murray Bowen, adds another layer. He proposed that families function like emotional ecosystems. When one person grows or changes, others often react, not out of malice, but to restore balance. If you were once seen as the quiet one, the emotional one, or the messy one, your family might unconsciously encourage you to stay that way, because it keeps the family roles familiar and predictable. For a sibling who feels overshadowed by your progress, this dynamic becomes a safety net. As long as you stay the sensitive one, they can stay the strong one. As long as you're the disorganized one, their identity as the responsible one remains safe. This is where jealousy hides, not in confrontation, but in comfort. It hides behind laughter, nostalgia, and little reminders of who you used to be. Those labels, repeated for years, are not just words. They're psychological tools that protect your sibling from feeling less than you. And because those comments come wrapped in affection, they're rarely questioned. But if you look closely, there's one behavior that exposes what's really going on. The clearest sign your sibling is jealous of you is when they keep trapping you in an outdated version of yourself. They call you the little one, the dramatic one, the messy one, even though you've grown far beyond that. On the surface, it seems harmless, maybe even funny. But psychologically, it's a quiet way of freezing your identity. Howard Becker's labeling theory explains how this works. Repeated labels don't just describe people, they shape them. When your sibling keeps using words that deny your growth, they're anchoring you to a version of yourself that makes them feel secure. Jung would describe this as projection. By calling you disorganized, they avoid confronting their own inner chaos. By calling you weak, they hide from their own vulnerability. Those labels become armor, protection from uncomfortable truths they don't want to face. And because the behavior is subtle, it's easy to miss. It hides behind jokes and memories, but its goal is control. It keeps you in a position where they always feel one step ahead. The most damaging part of this dynamic isn't external, it's internal. Over time, you might start believing those old labels yourself. Social psychologists call this role entrapment, when external identities become internalized. What started as a family nickname turns into a quiet limitation on how you see yourself. Research shows that even affectionate teasing, when repeated, can lower confidence and influence life choices. You might begin to question your accomplishments or feel undeserving of success because deep down, you've absorbed the story your sibling keeps telling about you. Jung warned that what we deny within ourselves often returns through others. Your sibling, in trying to protect their own ego, might rewrite your identity to match their comfort zone. And if you don't notice it happening, you end up living inside someone else's story. If this reflection helps you understand your family dynamics better, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. Your support helps beyond the twist keep creating meaningful explorations like this one. Now, let's go deeper. The first step in breaking this pattern is awareness. When you recognize that these labels are not your truth, but your sibling's projection, you reclaim your power. Jung believed that awareness itself is freedom. Once a pattern becomes conscious, it loses its control over you. Your sibling might continue to use the same words, but you don't have to respond to them. You can step out of the script and redefine who you are, not through rivalry, but through self-knowledge. The ultimate sign of sibling jealousy is their refusal to let you evolve. Their need to keep you frozen in roles that no longer fit. Seeing this clearly isn't about blaming them. It's about reclaiming your story. Jung reminded us that what others project onto us does not have to become our identity. You are not bound by their version of you. You can step beyond their narrative, beyond the twist, and become the person you've already grown into.